Okay. There we go. We're live. Hey, if you're joining us after the fact, there was a YouTube crapped out on me again. The only solace I take in this is that I know I'm not the only one that it's happening to. Because if I was the only one that's happening to, then I'd think YouTube had a personal vendetta against me or something like that. Nonetheless, I thought I would jump on here. I was originally just doing my Mcrae live. We did it for nearly an hour and a half. So I thought, you know what, instead of trying to reconnect that stream, I would just leave that, where it is. I'll put a little, pinned post at the top of that stream so people know that it kind of just cuts out around the 75, maybe 80-minute mark, something like that. And to come on over here for, 25, 30 minutes or so and kind of wrap up our Q&A. So I thought this would be, I'll just title this Q&A to finish off the day. So that's what we're going to do here. Why not do that? And, so I just make sure everything's okay. I think we're on here. People are here. Dave, you're back. I am. Dave, do you think we will truly see Halloween Kills in the theater this year? I don't know. I think there's a good chance we will. I think there is definitely a good chance that we will, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. So, again, 33 people watching. That's nice. Nice of you guys to come on over and kind of finish off the Q&A here. It's so weird. I don't know what happens. YouTube will, because it's not the software. There's not, like, everything's fine, but suddenly YouTube, it's like a server thing, and it's out of my control. But the other day I was watching a stream, somebody who was doing a live feed, and all of a sudden they crapped out. Now they came back. It wasn't nearly as catastrophic as my crap out there, but they actually were able to come back, and I saw them talking, and all of a sudden they're going, "Oh wait, are we on? Hello, are we on?" You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening to them too. I hear some of the bigger channels are having some issues as well. I don't know if it's because everybody's on YouTube now, more people are on, and there's a server thing. No idea. But hey, if you're joining after the fact, that's what I'm doing. This won't be a long stream, maybe half an hour, just to kind of wrap up sort of what we were talking about. So if you want to see my show, my Mcrae Live, it will be the stream right before this one. Anyway, Nick Kunda sends, have you ever gotten to meet Dick Warlock? He seems like a really nice guy, and his portrayal of the Shape has grown on me recently. I haven't. I saw him at the 40th anniversary convention for Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills. For the 40th anniversary convention for Halloween. We're talking about Halloween Kills. But I didn't get a chance to meet him. His lineup was quite long, and I had some other things that I was doing and other people I wanted to see and speak to. So I didn't get a chance to meet Dick Warlock, but hopefully, I know he's getting up there in age now, but hopefully I'll still be able to have an opportunity to do that. He seems like a really nice guy. Frank Riker says, Dave, Mrs. Elrod kills Michael for stealing the sandwich that got her hell from her husband. Oh, wait. That movie doesn't exist. Damn it for you, buddy. Thanks, Frank. Really appreciate it. That would be funny. You should write like these things down and then sort of, pitch them as like fan film sort of one-off ideas to different people to kind of recreate, even if it's cheesy. You know what I mean? Even people with their phones, like a contest or something like that. That would be actually really funny to see. Sinister Movie Review says, hi, Dave, fan of the channel. Cheers. Tony from Liverpool, UK. Thank you, Sinister Movie Reviews. Really appreciate it. Johnny T says, hey, Dave, if the story of Michael and Laurie does end with ends and Laurie dies, do you see the story of Michael able to continue the story in any positive way other than some sort of prequel? No, I don't think so. I think it's unnecessary. I think if Halloween ends with Michael and Laurie dying, then you end it. That's it. I don't think there should be any more movies in that universe connected to the 1978 film. I don't think it's necessary. I think that's it. Done. If you want to reboot the story and tell the story from again, you reboot it in a different way, then do that 10, 15 years down the road or whatever, if you want to do that. But enough is enough with this storyline. I don't personally, and I don't want, because Michael is aging as well. Michael's not a Jason. He's not a Freddy. He cannot live indefinitely. So, even if Laurie, I know some people have said, well, what about if Laurie dies? But now you follow Allison. It's like, yeah, but Michael's still aging. And then what's going to happen? Allison's going to have a daughter, and then she dies, and then you follow her daughter, and now it's his great granddaughter or his great niece or whatever. It's like, No, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Whatever that Frozen song is. Let it go, folks. That's what I think should happen. I just let it go. Yes, hey, for those of you, I'll say this a few times throughout the next half hour here. For those of you that are just tuning in, YouTube crapped out on me on Mcrae Live. So I thought, you know what? It was about 75, 80 minutes anyway. Let's end the show there. I'll make a pin post on that show, and let's just pick up sort of a quick kind of finish off the day Q&A. So it's kind of separate from that. And I noticed that when sometimes that happens, if I try to reconnect to the same stream, I'm able to do it, but then where YouTube craps out on me in terms of in terms of processing, I notice where YouTube craps out on me and I try to reconnect. When the video is up online, the audio is off. So I thought, you know what, let's just try a different stream to try and forego that nonsense. Dicky Veto says, hey, Michael should go to space or time travel. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why the fuck not? Why not do it? Let's do it. EdRed77 says, Dave, thoughts on the Bandage Myers look from Halloween 4? I actually like it, and I would have been, if it would have been a very interesting, I like it better than the Halloween 4 mask. So I would have been okay with following Michael Myers bandaged up through that whole movie. That might have been interesting. And you're reinventing the character, but you're doing something new, but isn't taking away from the original character because it's justified, right? It's justified. And I kind of like that. And what did Michael do? Take off the bandages and then put the mask on? Is the mask over the bandages? I don't know. Like, that's an interesting sort of thing, right? Is the mask over the bandages? I have no idea. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a very, I think seeing that mask on the cover of the Halloween 4, on the Halloween 4 poster there, would have been really cool to see. Now, I know there are fan versions of that poster that exist with that version of the mask, so to speak, the bandages on it. And it looks really cool. That would have been interesting. And then if you didn't hire, if there wasn't incompetence going into Halloween 5, maybe that's the movie where he gets a mask. You know what I mean? I don't know. Would have been really cool to see. Would have been really cool to see. I would totally been down for it. Totally down for it. Let's see here. 88 people watching. We'll wait and see if we get this to 100, and then I'll preface the video, or not. Well, I guess I'm not really prefacing the video anymore because I'm already doing it, but kind of talk about what happened there. Mike Johnson says, after Halloween ends, I think I will be content. That will be 13 movies we will get to watch. Could not agree with you more. For me, it will be at least 2, maybe 5. SPC Bird 3171993. Is that your social security number? Thoughts on Dr. Loomis prequel? Was someone of your choosing as a young Loomis? Well, again, it depends on where, right? I mean, Dr. Loomis is so ingrained. Part of Dr. Loomis's brand as well is Michael Myers. So it almost feels, would a Dr. Loomis prequel generate any interest? I don't think so. I mean, amongst us, maybe, but a general movie-going audience, you would have to structure the story in a way that, A, it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, absolutely, unequivocally nothing. This movie or series would take place before Michael was even conceived. And you follow, so Dr. Loomis then isn't Dr. Loomis. No, he's just Sam Loomis, some psychiatrist, right? Because he doesn't become the Dr. Loomis until the events of Michael Myers. He doesn't become famous even in the world until Michael Myers. Right? It's Michael Myers that makes Dr. Loomis famous. It's Michael Myers that makes Dr. Loomis important and relevant to the, seemingly the world at large in the Halloween universe. Before Myers, who was Dr. Loomis? Some psychiatrist at Smith's Grove Sanitarium, and most of his patients were probably just regular. You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe, but I don't care, because Loomis without Myers is like, you know, it's like the Emperor without Vader, or the Vader without Emperor, or Vader without Obi-Wan, or I don't know, Kylo without Rey, or you know, it's sort of like a yin and yang sort of thing. I just don't think, I don't care, but some people might. Some people might. Gary Rangel says, Dave, I rewatched Halloween 6. Even though it's a messy story, it's becoming a favorite. The shape is terrifying, the brutal, and the third best incarnation of Michael Myers. He walks fast too. Yeah, my thought, I don't like Halloween 6. I don't care if it's the producer's cut or the theatrical cut. It's the same movie essentially. Just with more, the producer's cut gives more context to what's going on, but it's the same story, essentially. Halloween 6 is better than Halloween 5 in terms of its execution, in terms of its portrayal of the shape, in terms of its, you know, Halloween stuff going on, right? The autumn, the feel, the vibe, yes, it's a better Halloween movie, but I think it's a garbage story that I just don't like. I think George P. Wilbur, in my opinion, played Michael better in H4 than he did in Halloween 6. In H6, he's put on a little bit of weight. He's a little tubby. And I don't like the way he's walking. You know, there's that scene where he's walking from, is he walking from the Myers house to Strode, or wherever he's walking, and the lightning flashes, and he's, you know, and he's there and he's doing this. He's kind of doing one of these, you know, his hand is like this, you know, get this out of the way. His hand's like this, and he's walking. It's weird. I'm just like, I don't, at least it looks like that from what I can remember. Yeah, I'm not there's moments that in terms of the cinematography in Halloween 6 is great. The cinematography in Halloween 6 is very good. And there's moments that I like with George P. Wilbur, but overall, I don't really like the movie. I don't like the story. You know, it's no matter how many times I watch it or how good the cinematography is, it's the same story, and I just don't like the story. So, but if it's growing on you, that's awesome. That's great. I mean, I think that's great, right? Philip Rose says David Spade without Chris Farley. There's a good point there too. Yeah. That's a good point too, man. That is a good point too. Let me just see here. I want to look up something with 6. I want to see something. Is that? Okay, it was. I'll just look up the DP on that. I was looking up the DP. Okay. All right, cool. Just wanted to see who the director of photography was on that. But no, I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. Philip Rouse is right. David Spade without Chris Farley, 100%. Demand W says, I have a soft spot for H5. I was working in a theater when that came out, and it was so bad, it was good. There you go, my man. Hey, 93 people watching. For those of you that are watching live now and will be watching after the fact, I won't be on long here. We've been on now for... what have we been on here? 14 minutes. So we'll go another 14, 15 minutes or so. But I just wanted to kind of wrap up the Q&A part that got disconnected from us because of YouTube on my show on Mcrae Live that I was just doing 20 minutes ago. So go back and watch the show, but that's why I didn't want to leave you guys high and dry. I wanted to kind of wrap it up a little bit, but I didn't want to try and reconnect to that stream, because when YouTube servers do this to me, and they've been doing it to a lot of people lately, when I try to reconnect to that server and to that stream, I can do it, but then when it's finished processing online, when it gets to that point where it fucked up, the audio suddenly is way off. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't want that. Fuck that. So, yeah. So my apologies. It was out of my control. But you know what? Nearly 100 people decided to tune back in to finish off the Q&A. So that's cool. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. Mason James says Scott Eastwood would be okay, but he's not English. Are you guys talking about Dr. Loomis, I guess? Fish without the chips. Darren Sands. Fish without the chips. Fish without the chips. French fries without the ketchup. Although not everybody likes ketchup in their French fries. Catsup. I agree, but I agree. Let me scroll back here. Did miss any super chats? Okay, good. Let's keep going here. Chris Manders says, Dave, would you have liked to have seen some scenes shot in South Pasadena in H-18? I know it's fan service, but it would have been cool in my opinion. Yeah, I'd be down for it because you could shoot that stuff at night, or you can color grade it a little bit to look a little bit like autumn. It's not they just didn't do it because it's more expensive to shoot in LA. I know David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, I think, are from Georgia, or at least from that area. I think there's better tax breaks, I think, in Georgia to shoot there. So it was probably cheaper. And it was unnecessary could there have been some B-roll they could have slid in there, of a street or of the Doyle house or something like that? Yeah. And maybe you still will see that. Maybe you still will see it. You might still see it. Who knows? Who knows, ladies and germs? Who knows? Dick Hertz says, I live in Pasadena. That would have been awesome. Hey, I love Pasadena. Oh my goodness, I love Pasadena. And not just where the Myers house is and, of course, the Doyle house, to be fair, the Doyle house and the Wallace house are not in Pasadena. Let me just say that before somebody tries to call me out on it. They are not in Pasadena. They are in West Hollywood. They are a stone's throw away from the Elm Street house. But the Myers house and the Strode house and the Bush and they are in South Pasadena. So I love Pasadena. There's parts of Pasadena that are still very quaint and small feeling. And then there's a part of Pasadena where the Pasadena Convention Center is, which is where they held the 40th anniversary convention. It feels a little more kind of hustle and bustle there, a little bit, not like LA, but but yeah, South Pasadena, beautiful. Oh, I love it. So pretty, so quaint. I'd live there. I'd totally live there. I would, because you're close enough to LA, that if I needed to go into LA to do some voiceover work or, whatever was going on, you can. I mean, you're still close enough that you can do that. You know what I mean? Love Pasadena. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Radio AJ says, I live in North Carolina and frequent Wilmington, where they shot H Kills. Can't wait to see the movie to see if I recognize some spots. Oh, yeah. It happens being here in Toronto, the third largest TV and production center in North America. We share that with Vancouver, but certainly Toronto is an epicenter for shooting Hollywood films. And you can shoot in Toronto depending on where you shoot and how you shoot. And you can shoot in Toronto and it often will stand in for Chicago or New York or, what have you. And I see movies all the time. I'll be like, I know that's Toronto. The trick is not to show the CN Tower, because if you show the CN Tower, then it's like, oh, well, obviously that's Toronto. But you can shoot right downtown. Like It Chapter 2, there's a scene in It Chapter 2, I don't know if you guys remember, but the adult Eddie, I think it was adult Eddie, he was in his car and he was on the phone and he was in traffic and it was supposed to be New York. No, it wasn't New York. It was Toronto. And I know it's Toronto because when they showed the street and the buildings, I'm like, that's Toronto. I walk by there all the time. But again, depending on where you shoot, it's big enough and, the skyscrapers and everything, it can stand in for Chicago or New York. So, and it's only continuing to grow. Toronto is one of the fastest growing cities in terms of construction as well in North America too. So it's, I get the same feeling like, for sure. And there's many times I'm downtown, whether I have to go to a studio or I got to go to a recording session or whatever. And I'll walk out into the street and they'll be shooting a movie. You know what I mean? Suicide Squad, the original from 2016. The original. It's like, the first one, I guess I should say, because I think the new one that's coming out is a sequel, right? Anyway, Suicide Squad was shot in Toronto. They shoot tons of shit there. And I knew a PA on the set and I was down on the set. I'm still trying to find those photos to show you, but I don't know where they are. And it's really weird because I would not have deleted them. Anyway, when I do find them, I will show you them. I will show you them, I should say. Crystal Light Counselor 1977 says, Dave, why would the Myers house still stand being the center of the infamous murder? Are you asking that as like just kind of speculative, or are you asking that in the sense of you think it's going to be? I'll take it because I think you're being speculative. Dave, why would the Myers house still stand being the center of the infamous murder? Well, I think it's a very important piece when you are talking about the original intent of Michael Myers, which is what this sequel, the 2018 film, was back to. All the other sequels don't exist. So Cult of Thorn and all that shit is irrelevant. The Myers house, if it has ever been important at any time, it is more important now than it has ever been, I should say, at any other point in any of the sequels. It is his childhood home. And I think it should be can be a focal point to wrap up the series, like I did in my 2018 sequel concept idea video. It's so long-winded. It was a focal point and very important to the ending of that movie, of that story. So I think it's something that you definitely could implement and, just sort of. Have, but it's got to be utilized. It can't just be there because it's cool. It's got to be utilized in a philosophical way, in my opinion anyway, that brings the entire message and story home. It can't just be there because, there's the Myers house. You know what I mean? It can't just be there for fan service. It's got to be utilized. I don't mean that that's where, it's buried on some Indian burial ground. I don't mean it like that. I mean philosophically, right? Symbolically. It's a very integral moment for maybe wrapping up the story. And I think if you were to play it that way, I think a lot of people would accept it. I think if it's just fan service, then, who cares? And they tried, I can't believe I'm saying this, but to give credit where credit is due, they tried to do something kind of like that in Halloween 5. With Jamie sitting at the dresser where, pretending to be Judith and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't the Myers house. It was some gothic mansion. I was like, what the fuck is this? It was, it's not working. What you're trying to do symbolically isn't working because it doesn't look like the same spot. It's not the same spot. So it's pointless what you're trying to do. Anyway, I want to go off on a tangent there. Hey, 116 people watching. For those of you that are watching after the fact or have just tuned in, again, my apologies for my show crapping out. YouTube server, at least for me, went down because I got an error thing that popped up. So my apologies for that. But I decided to, instead of just reconnecting to that stream, which sometimes is problematic when the video is uploaded with audio towards the end of that video, I decided to just jump on a new stream. I won't be on long, just a quick Q&A to finish the day. So that is why you see me here doing that. But I didn't want to leave you guys high and dry. So, and YouTube seems to be okay at the moment. Michael Does Life says, hey Dave, what preamp do you use for your SMB? Your SM7B, excuse me, that's the microphone. It sounds amazing. Well, actually, this is not plugged into any of my preamps. I have an Avalon 737 and I have a DBX 286S for my voiceover work and a Focusrite Scarlett for which is my interface. But my microphones that I use for my voiceover work are an Audio-Technica 4050 and a Neumann U87. This I just use for YouTube, and this isn't plugged into any of my preamps. This is plugged into the Rodecaster mixing board. It's a podcast mixing board that allows you to do, it's amazing. It's about, well, here in Canada, it's about $800. In the US, it's probably about 500 or so. So it's not inexpensive, but it's not ridiculously expensive either. And it's portable. So it's designed for podcasts, and you can plug 4 microphones in, 4 headphones in. You have the ability to have sound effects and music and stuff like, that kind of thing. You can have intros and outros and all that kind of stuff. And there is a processor built into the mixing board. What it is, I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look. But you have the ability to have processing on and processing not on. And I always have processing on to sort of fill out the voice and make it a bit thicker and richer and a little more pleasing to the ears. And but what specifically it is, what they're doing to utilize that, I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look. It's written there somewhere. I just have to take a look in the digital display or in the pamphlet or the cards that came with it. But yeah, no, it's not plugged into any external processor. The processor's built into the mixing board. The external preamps I have are the Avalon 737 and the DBX 286S. And I use them for different reasons. There are different reasons why I would use one over the other. Hopefully that answered your question. We'll go. Where are we here? Let me see. I said I wasn't going to be in too long. So I want to wrap up the show. Yeah, 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes. Robert Thidoff says, Dave, can you see JLC being concerned about filming Halloween Ends when COVID-19 subsides because of her age and risk? That's a good question. I think so, but I think it comes down to, productions. They would take this very seriously because the liabilities when working on a multi-million-dollar Hollywood film are potentially too great. So the insurance that would be implemented into productions going forward may cover that, although I probably not. But definitely there would be, it wouldn't just be. There would be discussion around it. There would be the producers and the production would be talking about it. There would be things that would be implemented. There would be, 100%. I think Jamie would feel comfortable because the production would be taking it seriously for everybody, not just Jamie Lee Curtis. So, but would it cross her mind because of her age? It might. And if she doesn't feel that the things that have been implemented and the procedures that are now in place to take that into consideration for all cast and crew and everybody involved, if she doesn't feel that it is up to her standards or she's worried, I have no doubt in my mind, because she's a very outspoken lady, that she would have no issues mentioning that. So yeah. Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp #1 fan says, hey Dave, what are your thoughts on Neil Blomkamp 3 film District 9 Elysium and Chappie? I've only seen District 9. I love District 9. Thought it was great. Haven't seen Elysium or Elysium, I think is how you pronounce it, right? That's the one with Matt Damon. And Chappie, haven't seen either of those. So I'm not sure. I still have to see them. Michael Doherty says, what are your thoughts on Michael having a plain white mask similar to the OG in Halloween Ends? Or do you think it will be the same mask as in H18 and Kills? I think it will be the same mask because it's the same night. Again, although this has not been confirmed by anybody, officially like Blumhouse or Universal, my sources tell me that Halloween Kills, Ends, and 18 all happen in the same night. Like all 3 movies are the same Halloween night, which makes sense if you think about it, because you don't want Halloween Ends to end and then there's like a year goes. It would or Halloween Kills to end and then a year or 2 goes by for Halloween Ends. It kind of seems anticlimactic. I think they have figured out a way to do the 3 movies in one night. That's what I'm hearing. Darren Sand says, District 9 is genius. Truly awesome film. It is a great movie. It is a really good movie. Tabitha Short says, are you leaving early, Frank, or just saying you guys rock early? Yes, what do we got? 1 more minute left. 1 more minute, and then I got to skedaddle. 1 more minute, and then I have to skedaddle myself. So, yes, let me see if I can. Should be, there I am. I went away. My apologies. I went away. My apologies. I went away. Sorry about that. That wasn't YouTube. That was me. I clicked on something. Apologies. Kyle Sanford says, Dave, do you think Halloween Kills will open? Do you think we'll get the pumpkin opening? Oh, how do you think it will open? I think it'll be a pumpkin opening again, and I think it will be honoring Halloween 2 from 1981, but in their own style. Somebody mentioned somebody said a pumpkin on flames would be cool or something like that. That would be cool. That'd be cool. I think the Inferno fan films did that, so something like that, I think. You know what I mean? That might be kind of awesome. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. I know I wasn't on here long, but I just didn't want to leave you guys high and dry. That's going to do it for me. I got to skedaddle now. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Hey, go watch, if you've just tuning into this, go watch Mcrae live just before this video. If you're wondering, where's Mcrae live? The fucking YouTube crapped out and it's kind of thing. It's a whole fucking thing. Hopefully that won't happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, unless something changes on Mcrae Live, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be talking Back to the Future, because Back to the Future is celebrating its 35th anniversary this year. And I want to talk about something that's been up for debate for many years amongst Back to the Future fans, which is there a plot hole in Back to the Future? Is there? I don't think there is, but a lot of people do. And we're going to talk about it tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless some major news were to drop that I got to shift the topic. But that's what I'm going to be talking about. Tune in for that. I really appreciate your support, the super chats that come in, of course. I think you guys are amazing. And thank you to my moderators again for doing what you guys do. You guys are awesome. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm not going to have a Patreon card pop up here for this. My apologies. I didn't have time to, because I'm using a different software. I was worried that if I reconnected with Wirecast that YouTube might crap out on me again. So I just kind of, so my apologies. There won't be a Patreon card for this, but we'll try to get back to basics, back to doing that tomorrow. So in the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you guys soon. You guys are amazing. Alrighty. Cheers.